Part 2, Chapter 2, The Hunt for Doakes. The disappearance of Sergeant James Doakes had sent shockwaves through Miami Metro. The department was already stretched thin by the relentless pursuit of the Bay Harbor butcher, but Doakes' sudden absence added a new layer of urgency and confusion. Lieutenant Maria Lagerta, a shrewd and ambitious detective, knew that finding Doakes was now their top priority. Lagerta called an emergency meeting, her eyes scanning the room filled with tense and anxious faces. And quote, "Listen up, everyone. We've been chasing our tails with the Bay Harbor butcher case, but we can't ignore the fact that one of our own is missing. From now on, our primary focus is locating Sergeant Doakes. I want all available resources dedicated to this." And quote. The room buzzed with murmurs of agreement and concern. Dexter, sitting among his colleagues, felt a chill run down his spine. He had known that Doakes' disappearance would raise alarm, but the intensity of the search was a new challenge. He needed to stay ahead, to keep his secrets hidden. Deborah, ever the determined detective, was the first to speak up. And quote, "Do we have any leads, Maria? Any idea where he might have gone?" And quote. Lagerta shook her head, her expression grim. And quote. "Not yet, but we're going to find out. I want everyone to retrace his steps, interview anyone he spoke to, and check any possible locations he might have visited. Doakes is a valued member of this team, and we owe it to him to bring him back." And quote. Dexter's mind raced as he processed the new directive. He knew he had to be careful, to avoid drawing any suspicion. His double life was more precarious than ever, and any misstep could lead to his downfall. As the task force split into teams, Dexter and Deborah were paired together. Their bond had always been strong, but recent events had strained their relationship. Dexter could see the worry in Deborah's eyes, her determination to find Doakes consuming her. And quote, "Come on, Dex," and quote. Deborah said, her voice filled with urgency. And quote. "We need to get moving. Doakes could be in serious trouble." And quote. Dexter nodded, his mind already formulating a plan. And quote. "Let's start with his usual haunts. Maybe someone saw something." And quote. As they canvassed the city, Dexter maintained his calm facade, even as his dark passenger whispered warnings of impending danger. They interviewed witnesses, checked surveillance footage, and followed every lead, but Doakes remained elusive. Back at the Miami Metro headquarters, Lagerta pored over Doakes' case files, searching for any clues that might hint at his whereabouts. She knew Doakes was tenacious and resourceful, but his sudden disappearance left her with a gnawing sense of dread. Late one night, as Dexter and Deborah returned to the precinct, they found Lagerta deep in thought, her eyes fixed on a map of the city. And quote. "Anything new?" And quote. Deborah asked, her voice tinged with frustration. Lagerta sighed, her expression wary. And quote. "Not yet, but I have a feeling we're missing something. Doakes was working on something big before he vanished. We need to figure out what it was." And quote. Dexter's heart raced. He knew that Doakes had been investigating him and Angela, but he couldn't let that information come to light. He needed to divert their attention, too. Keep them focused on finding Doakes without uncovering the truth. And quote. "I think we should focus on his recent cases." And quote. Dexter suggested, his voice steady. And quote. "Maybe one of them holds the key to his disappearance." And quote. Lagerta nodded, her eyes narrowing in thought. And quote. "You're right, Dexter. We'll start with his most recent assignments and go from there." and quot. As the search for Doakes intensified, Dexter felt the weight of his dual life pressing down on him. The night had always been his domain, but now it felt like a treacherous battlefield, where every step could lead to his discovery. The city of Miami buzzed with rumors and speculation, the fear of the Bay Harbor butcher intertwined with the mystery of Doakes' disappearance. The pressure was mounting, and Dexter knew that his dark passenger demanded satisfaction. In the quiet moments between the search, Dexter found himself haunted by memories of Angela, her death a constant reminder of the cost of his actions. He was determined to continue his dark journey, but the stakes had never been higher. As Lagerta's task force pursued every lead, the tension within Miami Metro grew. Trust was eroding, and suspicion hung in the air like a heavy fog. Dexter's colleagues were on edge, their faith in each other shattered by the unknown. The hunt for Doakes had become a dangerous game, where every move was scrutinized and every action questioned. Dexter knew that the truth could never come to light, but he also knew that his dark passenger would not be denied. The night was far from over, and the shadows held many more secrets waiting to be unveiled. The edge of darkness was a treacherous place, where every step could be their last. Dexter's journey was far from over, and the final reckoning was yet to come. In the end, the dance between hunter and hunted would continue, a battle of wills and wits that would shape their destinies. The night was far from over, and the darkness held many more secrets waiting to be revealed. The hunt for Doakes had begun, and only time would reveal who would emerge victorious from the shadows.